You know, when I think HBO, I think like Game of Thrones, Westworld, Gossip Girl reboot, that kind of thing. And like obviously all these streaming services are trying to like come for Netflix's lunch, you know, but I didn't realize they were just gonna straight up make Netflix level movies. So recently HBO came out with this movie Moonshot, which stars Lana Condor and Cole Sprouse of all people. Yeah, I know, I saw the trailer and I was like, I mean, if there was one way to get me to watch your movie out of pure curiosity, having these two in it is the way to go. And so, as is my obligation at this point, I thought I'd check it out and bring all of you with me. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is an epic fantasy RPG that you can play on PC or smartphone. It has hundreds of artifacts and over 600 champions with unique skills. Like Cythalia, who can heal your party and remove debuffs. She's especially useful in PvP thanks to her turn meter manipulation skills, and you can also bring her into dungeons and the Doom Tower to keep bosses under constant HP burn and heal your team. I also like Necrit the Great, who can defend all your other party members during battle. He's a universal fighter that found his place everywhere in the game. He places ally protection and block debuffs on other champions, then massive shield buffs whenever they get attacked. And you know he's great because it's right there in the name. I mean, does this look like the face of someone who would lie to you? Now this month is Raid's 3-year anniversary and the celebrations are going to be huge. Like Raid started doing champion skins, which lets you change how the champions look to suit whatever your style might be. I personally like this green one myself, but that's just me. And it's going to be a ton more stuff coming all this month, so there's no better time to jump in than right now. And if you click my link in the description below or scan the QR code right here on the screen, you get a free starter pack worth almost $40. You get 3 free champions, Misericord, Tiger Soul, and Romero, plus 10 Magic XP brews, 10 Force XP brews, 10 Spirit brews, and all this just for signing up. And of course, all the rewards will be available right over here. So like I said, there's no better time to start playing than right now. So click my link down below or use the QR code and start playing Raid Shadow Legends today. Okay, back to the show. So starting right off, we have our main character, Walt. Now, Walt over here is dead set on one day finally going to Mars.
I was raised by a single mom. She had like 100 careers. One time when I was like 6, she took me to see the solar eclipse. And from that moment on, all I wanted to do was go to the sun. And I know that you can't actually go to the sun. My mom would try to tell me that, but I would just stare at it.
And now I have superpowers.
I think if I could have gotten the chance to just go up there and look back, I would have seen where I fit in this crazy universe.
Okay, all right. He's one of these kids. I'm so quirky and unique, no one understands me. Nah, you're just a weird dude. So, the year is 2049, and humans have started colonizing Mars, and Earth has basically just turned into like a giant garbage dump. So really nothing much at all has changed in the last 27 years. All thanks to this guy.
Let's face it, this planet isn't cutting it anymore. I'm self-made billionaire Leon Covey.
Ah yes, Leon Covey, aka Elon with 2 letters switched around. Yeah, you get it, kids? Hilarious. But I mean, I get it, because you know, you can't make things too obvious. Hi, I'm self-made billionaire Elon. My parents actually gave me hundreds of thousands of dollars to start my own business because my dad was already a millionaire. Musk. How do you feel about flamethrowers? Although shout out to this Leon dude for always letting everyone know how cool he is.
I'm self-made billionaire Leon Covey.
And I have a huge dick. Anyway, so Walt is just a regular college dude working at a coffee shop and spending most of his time swapping witty banter with his AI robot boss, you know, as one does.
Oat milk latte?
Gary?
Yes, Walt.
She just smile at me?
Honestly, I'd say she smiled past you.
Analysis.
There is a 52% chance of romantic interest, but a 48% chance she pities you due to your low-status position.
Okay, but this girl's like 8 feet away from you. Why are you guys yelling all this right now? Anyway, so that night, Walt's roommate invites him to a party, and at this party, Walt heads off to find the restroom or whatever, but ends up finding this girl, Sophie, in the middle of a certain conversation with a certain special someone. I don't know why I'm being so vague about everything, but whatever.
9 months. 9 months until my parents' contract is up, and we return to Earth. 9 more months without touching you.
You know, one of my favorite things about, like, any movie is experiencing all the wonderfully awkward exposition the characters do. Hello, girlfriend of 8 years. Can you believe it's only 9 months left in my contract and then I'll be heading back to Earth? Yeah, I know. We talk about this literally every day. Why are you saying all this right now? Blink twice if you need help.
Get out of here!
Are they on Mars?
Go! What are you doing? Get out!
Just looking for the bathroom.
Who walks into bathrooms without knocking?
Walt. Is this live? How did they solve for the time delay?
It's called quantum splicing.
Why is this dude so chill about some random guy walking into his girlfriend's bedroom? Whoa, are you talking to a guy on Mars? How does that work? Oh, hey there, strange man. Yeah, it's this new technology called quantum splicing. Huh, well, that's pretty cool. Also, you want to see my My Little Pony collection? But anyway, so understandably, Sophie's like, what the heck, dude? And then Walt's like, yo, my bad. And then he accidentally breaks something in a room, and she's like, I can't believe you walked into my room and just started breaking stuff. And then Walt's like, I can't believe Riverdale got renewed for a 7th season. And then she kicks him out. Now, immediately after this, Walt runs into this girl, Ginny. And would you believe they also swap effortlessly effortlessly witty banter back and forth. I mean, how are all these kids so gosh darn clever all the time?
In about 14 seconds, you're gonna get the sudden urge to jump.
Already in the midst of an existential crisis?
Oh, well, in that case.
Well, I'm supposed to move tomorrow. Big move, actually, in 7 hours. And let's just say it's a big commitment, and I'm not a big commitment kind of gal.
Are you saying we're in one of those classic we only have tonight scenarios?
Will spending it with you make me want to stay?
Well, you said we had 7 hours, so what are we gonna do with the other 6 hours and 57 minutes? Anyway, so Walt ends up giving her his entire spiel about why he loves Mars and wants to go there and why Earth is stupid and stuff.
Tomorrow, another ship will leave for Mars without me.
You could always rob a bank and buy a ticket.
Yeah, I'd have to rob like 9 banks. I have considered the old air ducts plan. You know, hide the air ducts, survive on stolen food.
Pee in bottles that you dump into other people's toilets while they sleep.
Well, she had that idea ready to go real quick. Yeah, okay, I know a World of Warcraft player when I see one. Anyway, so they end up talking all night about all kinds of nerd stuff, and this culminates into them having a moment. So what ends up happening is Ginny moves to Mars, partially because Walt just couldn't stop telling her about how amazing it probably is, having never been there himself. So really, he's just like the Mars version of those kids who have anime profile pictures on Twitter. But anyway, so then we skip ahead to 1 month later with Walt still working at the coffee shop and wanting nothing more than to go to Mars, but his 37th application to the Mars program was denied, and it costs like $900,000 to buy a ticket, so I guess he'll just have to give up on his dreams. All right, pack it up, movie's over, everybody.
Greetings, Walt.
Sorry I'm late, Gary.
Do not worry, I have already docked your pay.
Great.
The lonely human at table 7B has not moved for 5 hours and 11 minutes.
I know her. I broke her orb.
What is this face? Me when I realize I'm gonna be making videos about Riverdale for the next 25 years.
If you don't order anything, you can't use the Wi-Fi and sit here like a black hole of sadness. How's the Mars boyfriend?
It's great. Yeah, he got his Martian dream job, so long distance just became indefinite. You tell Gary. I hope he gets malware.
I hope she fails to find long-term companionship and learns the pain of a solitary life.
Jeez, Gary. Hey, apropos of nothing, what are your thoughts on Will Smith's wife? Now, as I and all of you can probably tell, Sophie is definitely in the mood to talk and looking for a stimulating conversation at this very moment, which is exactly what Walt, in his infinite wisdom, decides to give her.
How long have you guys been together?
Since 9th grade, so 8 years.
How did you manage that?
We had a plan. 1 year long distance. And then he comes back to Earth and I graduate and we use his terraforming expertise and my focus on eco-reconstruction to jumpstart an algae-based waste reduction technology.
In English, Egon.
What does this Mars genius have that I don't?
Everything.
Could you actually be more specific?
He checks all the boxes.
Okay, what is this list? Strong jaw, six-pack, hates video games, strong earning potential? This is literally just a dude from 50 Shades. Come on, Sophie, you can't fool me. But you know, making a list like this really only works when you're like 20, you know, and it's like, I'm not giving up until I find that perfect someone who's perfect for me in every way. And then you hit like 28 and you're like, someone who's nice to me and has a pulse? Actually, you know what? Never mind. Pulse optional.
A way that you can get on that ship tomorrow. 2 words. Air ducts.
Or I could just buy a ticket.
Yeah, for like $1 million. Do you have $1 million?
My finances are personal.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That means you have at least $2 million? What are you doing here? Buy a ticket.
And that's pretty much what she does. She just whips out her tablet and drops $900,000 on a space ticket to Mars. Although now that I think about it, you know, with the way things are going now with like inflation and all that, $900,000 is probably the cost of like 1 latte at this coffee shop. But anyway, so Ginny went off to Mars a month ago, and now Sophie's going to Mars. Everyone's going to Mars, except Walt. And that's when he gets a video message from Ginny.
Hey, I know I went radio silent for a hot minute. You just got the world's first interstellar cat video. This old genius snuck into one of our escape pods back on Earth. This old genius snuck into one of our escape pods back on Earth. Into one of our escape.
You know, this has got to be the most unimportant little nitpick here, but like something that really bothers me for no reason is when like characters in these movies, they're like scrolling back on a digital video on their phone or something, and it makes the same sound as a cassette tape.
Dollars, what's your...
Why is it doing that? But watching this video gives him an idea of how he can finally sneak onto that rocket ship.
Look, I just came to apologize. I was a dick. Also, I need a favor.
You are the ingrown toenail of humanity.
barely got in this school. I took out 100 loans and I worked a dozen crappy jobs because this was my plan. And now Ginny is there and I have to be with her. I have to adventure with her.
You have to what? Anyway, so long story short, he gets through by pretending to be Sophie's relative, and then does his best rendition of Troy from High School Musical when he's sneaking through the school to get to the musical audition. Walt does that, but to get into an escape pod and ride the rocket all the way to the ship that's gonna take him to Mars. And guess who's not too thrilled about all this when she finds out what's going on?
You used me!
No. A little. I can explain. I've been hiding that air duct. You're never gonna see me again.
Until you get caught. They will run your information. They will link you to me. I brought you through security. Aiding and abetting.
Yeah, but you didn't know.
Best case scenario, they send us back in escape pods.
And so begins the zany antics of the movie where Walt obviously can't get caught or he'll just get ejected right into the sun. And Sophie has to help him not get caught because the people in charge would find out that she helped him get on board, kinda sorta, and that would be bad or something. So for the next 35 days, they have to pretend that he's actually her boyfriend Calvin, who's this guy, in case you forgot. And the first thing they have to do is get Walt an ID that says he's Sophie's boyfriend.
ID? Says here you were already on the old run too.
This is a clerical error. You know how computers just get buggy sometimes?
Why are you two standing so far apart? Most young couples are all over each other, kissing.
Yeah, how come you guys are like passionately making out right in front of me so I can watch? Because I mean, like, you could if you want, like, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not weird, you're weird, shut up. But of course, thanks to the unbelievably high security that comes along with interstellar space travel, they give Calvin's ID to Walt, no questions asked. I'm so confused about what this movie's trying to be sometimes because, like, most of it is this nicely shot rom-com kind of thing, but then suddenly it just looks like Mystery Science Theater 3000 for some reason. Anyway, the next big chunk of the movie is just them sharing a room together and trying to lay low, but Walt's all like, let's go on a spacewalk and look for aliens. And then Sophie's like, I'm not like other girls, I hate fun. Which I think would be a hilarious dating profile, by the way, instead of literally like every other girl you see who's like, I like to laugh and have fun. No freaking duh! Now, y'all might be shocked to hear this, okay, but over the course of the month-long trip to Mars, Sophie and Walt maybe sorta kinda end up getting to know each other and maybe sorta kinda start to like each other a little bit, and we get to find out all kinds of wonderful things about them.
My parents died when I was 14.
What? I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
Calvin's family took me in.
So your family's dead and you're currently dating your adoptive brother? Yeah, okay, you weren't kidding when you said you're not good at small talk.
That space wine hits extra hard with this altitude.
Oh my God, Walt. We are in space, not high in the sky. Sometimes you're just so dumb and it makes me so angry.
This is like those high school couples, you know, where like the cute valedictorian girl dates the illiterate guy for some reason.
I feel like a hot pocket.
Now, like I said, they allegedly might be developing feelings for each other, which of course is making Sophie rethink the whole reason she's going to Mars in the first place, until just a few hours before they land, she has a video call with the real Calvin.
Listen, I need to tell you something. Where are you?
It was supposed to be a surprise, but... Okay, check it out. This is your room.
Wait. So your family's rich enough to go to Mars, and all they got for you was a single twin mattress? I'm calling shenanigans here, Sophie. But anyway, so seeing how excited Calvin is to see her, Sophie ends up changing her mind about dumping him for Jughead, and just suddenly out of nowhere throws Walt right in the garbage.
Walt?
Eh? Tell me what you think. I'm gonna hide in one of these storage boxes with this O2 canister. Let's say 2 hours, just to be safe.
I can't.
Are you afraid that I'm gonna be dead?
No, Walt.
Look, if the box smells like a dead body, just keep walking.
All jokes aside here, like, the Sprouse twins are often the best part of whatever movie they're in, you know? Like, you have After Two.
I've been meaning to tell you something for a long time, and the reason that I haven't told you is because of human resources in the workplace.
Or this movie, or like... Well, actually, that's about it. But so far, they're 2-0.
I'm sorry. I can't risk it. Calvin is here.
You are so obsessed with escaping your average existence that you would blow up my life for some sort of adventure?
I'm here because I am wanted here. You are here because no one cares where you are.
That's kind of a messed up thing to say, Sophie. Anyway, so despite the entire premise of the first hour and 10 minutes of this movie, suddenly Sophie doesn't care at all about being linked to Walt sneaking on the ship or helping him get through security at the airport or getting him a fake ID or literally any of the motivations for everything she's done so far. She's just like, yeah, okay, bye. And then they land on Mars and Walt immediately gets arrested and thrown in jail. And that's when a certain someone comes to pay him a visit.
Hey, stranger.
What? How are you here?
You know a guy? This is Edgar.
What's up?
He's awesome.
You know what? He is awesome.
Wow.
He's also my boyfriend. My new boyfriend.
And by new, I mean that I've been through like 7 guys the last 2 months. So after being in jail for some ambiguous amount of time, Walt gets released and you'll never guess who wants to talk to him now.
It's you.
Leon Covey, I have been monitoring your progress since you first entered that escape pod back on Earth.
Yep, he's invisible. Process that, everybody. Just act like you don't care.
Why didn't you arrest me?
Well, I ran a profile, and the risk of you impacting the journey in a meaningful way was below 0. There was some concern that you would die in the air ducts.
So what ends up happening is Leon over here doesn't like the board of directors he has to answer to, so he leaked the footage of Walt ninjaing his way onto the rocket ship, which ended up going viral on TikTok. And I gotta say, this is probably the most dystopian part of this entire movie. I mean, it's 2049 and we're still doing TikTok. We're still turning those lip-syncing kids into movie stars for no particular reason. But yeah, so this is pretty much where the movie just completely falls apart. Like up to now, it was goofy and cheesy, but like I could get behind the idea of a rom-com between the studious rich girl and the happy-go-lucky Commodore Stowaway or whatever. Like that was fine. And then the last 25 minutes of the movie is just like, Walt is famous on TikTok now? Like, could they just not figure out any other way to wrap this movie up? I mean, this is the most out-of-nowhere plot twist I've ever seen.
You wouldn't settle for the relentless onslaught of the quotidian that is life on Earth, so you came here.
A barista's assistant, unremarkable in every way. Truly middle of the road by all metrics, against impossible odds. Now that is a story people want to hear, Walt.
So ultimately, Walt gets hired on as Leon's company's spokesperson to help inspire the next generation to do all the stuff Leon could do with his money, but just, decided not to. And so we have Walt, who wanted nothing more than to go to Mars, and now he's finally there and realizes that he's still the same person, and coming to Mars didn't suddenly change everything about his life he didn't like. I mean, he's still just Cole Sprouse, you know what I'm saying? And on the flip side, we have Sophie, who's also coming to a bit of a revelation about her own life on Mars.
Any idea what you're gonna do now that you're here?
I recommended her for a spot on my team.
What?
They love you for it. You're totally qualified, and they're always looking for young candidates who can carry out the next phase.
The next phase?
Yeah, the 12-year life cycle trials.
That's right, Sophie. 12 years of no fun, no video games, and trying to fit 2 people onto 1 twin bed. Truly a fate worse than death. And so this brings us to the end of the movie, where once again, there's a party. Sophie and Walt end up running into each other and get to talking about Walt's new fame and Sophie's boring STEM boyfriend and just a whole bunch of stuff.
Where is the amazing Ginny?
She is with the amazing Edgar, her new boyfriend. I'm sorry for everything.
You sticking around for a while?
Yeah, looks like it. You?
Yeah, so therefore I suppose my order would go Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and then Twilight Sparkle, but Fluttershy is not to be overlooked, you see, because in episode 14 of season 8, there was that one scene where she...
Yeah, looks like it.
But then like 5 minutes later, Sophie realizes that having fun is cool, and she's like, I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend and go back to Earth. And then Walt's like, yeah, me too, minus the whole boyfriend thing, because trust me, all the guys here are freaking nerds. And so they both hop on the next rocket ship back to Earth and spend the whole time doing some... And that's pretty much the end of the movie. But to be fair, I mentioned this in the video, but the core idea of the movie, I actually thought was kind of interesting. A near future sci-fi story, and then it's going to Mars to be with the boyfriend, but then the guy stows away, and the core idea, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty all right. And then just throughout the first 2 acts, there's a lot of weird, it's they try to inject this unnecessary comedy that just feels so inorganic. The guy who does the ID or the captain of the ship, and it's not that it's, horribly unfunny, but it's just, it's funny enough with the interaction between Sophie and Walt, and then there's just this random kind of pointless jokes where you're just why is this here? They're just filling time, I guess. But all in all, it's actually pretty okay until the final act, the very end of Act 2 into Act 3 of this movie. It just makes no sense. The whole first 2/3 of the movie, Sophie's I have to help you get onto Mars or else they're gonna trace it back to me and I'm implicated in your crimes now. And then she just decides that doesn't matter anymore, and then nothing ever comes from that. Now, I mean, we do find out that, Leon Covey was aware of Walt, and so he kind of maybe pulled strings so that no one would actually get in trouble. And at the time, Sophie doesn't know this, and Sophie never knows this, but she just decides that everything she cared about doesn't matter anymore, and you're okay. And then Walt gets off the spaceship, and now it's oh, you're TikTok famous now, so no consequence. It's just it's so weird. What? Whoever was writing this, I guess they just couldn't figure out how to end it. There's so many ways you could have ended this movie. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Send me an email at folksmyerscontact@gmail.com. Let me know what movies or TV shows you would like me to do next. Check out the sponsor. Really helps out the channel if you do. And above all else, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.